I'm going to do an insight video again today, and I've been talking a lot about consciousness and creation, and I'm still talking about this because this is still like part of the self mastery that many of us are going through at the moment, where it relates to sort of like shifting our reality and shifting our understanding and our awareness through sort of looking at different dimensional reality. And I've talked about the third, fourth, and fifth dimension. So the third dimension is the out there reality, and that reality is sort of like fluid. It's a reality that can be sort of aligned. It can be shifted. It can be sort of like unified. It can be harmonized, and it all comes from sort of like the fourth dimension, which is like transformation, which is where we start to see our consciousness and our awareness and creation, and the fact that we can access this through vibration and frequency. Each and every one of us are a being of source energy and source vibration. We're all creators and we're all creation, and this is the shift to the sixth dimension and the fifth dimension. And this is what the whole of like the shifting is about for all of us at the moment as beings, is able to start to sort of access our infinite selves. And the infinite self is a multi-dimensional self, and in the multi-dimensional self and the infinite self, there's many different sort of like potential realities, and each and every one of us as beings at the moment are shifting into our infinite selves, and the potentials there at the moment. And this is what this time and age is about. It's starting to shift into the infinite self and realizing that although you're like this physical human being, you're much more than this. Your consciousness and your creation. And this is the sixth dimension. It's starting to let us know that within the sixth dimension that we're all creators and we're all creation, and that energy, that vibration of source energy is always available to us. And each and every one of us, when we shift our consciousness, we can move past this physical reality, but we can shift and mold it into a reality that harmonizes with our infinite self and our infinite sort of perspective and our infinite vision. So each and every one of us beings are sort of like, we have this ability to still ourselves, to go into bliss, to go into vibrations and frequencies that are available to us, and shift our reality and shift the 3D reality, the out there reality. The out there reality is just energy, it's just vibration, it's frequency, and it's all source energy. And when we start to go past that, many people talk about like the holographic experience, which is like, to me, the holographic experience is the understanding that, you know, energy is in everything and creation is in everything, and there's many layers to that. There's many sort of like infinite sort of like vibrations and frequencies to that, and it's always seeing beyond the physical. The physical reality is the first step, the first stage of consciousness, where we start to understand that we are creative beings, and vibration and frequency is available to us. And this again is related to like ascended master when they talk about Saint Germain and transmutation. Transmutation is the understanding that beyond the physical is an energetic reality and an energetic frequency, and each and every one of us are aligned to that through our consciousness and through creation and through source energy. Each and every one of us are born from source energy, and this relates to like the soul. The soul is like a multi-dimensional aspect of self that aligns us and connects us to source energy, and we understand through that through like transmutation of vibration and frequency, that everything is always available, and actually it all comes down to our own consciousness and our own awareness, and that reality is only a reflection of that. And this is part of the fifth dimensional reality as well, is understanding that all things are energy, and at any time we can shift and change and align that energy just through consciousness, and it's always available, and it's available in the now. The now is like just understanding that within this eternal moment, there's always energy, there's always frequency, and it's always available. And if we can like anchor ourselves into the now and not look to the future, not look to the past, we understand right here, right now, that there's this energy, this vibration, this frequency that's available to each and every one of us. And the more we become conscious creators, the more we understand that, the more we know that source energy and source vibration and frequency is always available right here, right now, in that eternal moment. And when you look at like Eckhart Tolle, he talks about the power of now. He's talking about being conscious. He's about conscious living, living and expressing source through the eternal moment, or the infinite moment, or the infinite now. And this is the shift as we start to move from the third dimension. We start to realize the out there reality is only a reflection of what our consciousness is. What our consciousness and creation is, and the vibration and frequencies that we're creating through our senses and our feelings are creating reality. So you start to understand that you can align, shift, heal, unify, harmonize at any moment, at any time, and all you have to do is become still in bliss. Bliss to me is this expansion of consciousness. It's where we start to open up, and we become these living channels for source energy, source vibration, and source frequency. So bliss is the expansive space where we sort of like align with it, and we align with consciousness. We sort of align our frequency, and through that we start to receive these infinite sort of information, this infinite insights, this infinite wisdom that's available always. And our infinite selves are always connected to that. I mean, people talk about higher self, but I like the word infinite self. And I use the word infinite self because infinite is ever evolving, ever expanding, ever opening. And this is what we're doing within our consciousness all the time. Our conscious stream is ever flowing through these different dimensional realities. It flows through the third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Any third kind of consciousness, third dimensional consciousness, is the out there reality. It's seeing things within your life that you feel like you know it's where you see like limitation. So like you see something outside of yourself. I don't know, a bill, you need to get the car sorted, a job interview, and you see those as out there things, but they're 3D consciousness, because what you're doing is you're connecting to them, and through connecting to that, you're seeing that as your reality, and as seeing something that is a barrier. As the fourth dimension tells you that you have creative energy and creative essence and vibration and frequency within you, that within that moment you can create and expand, and you can also harmonize whatever you want to experience, whatever you want to feel. And this is the fifth dimension as well, and this is what relates to like heaven on earth as well. Heaven on earth is this understanding that reality is whatever you make it, whatever you create it, because you are creation and you are a creator. And this is the sixth dimension, and they're all working and vibrating in one eternal moment, in the eternal now. And this is happening for us all the time. So when you see it like that, you start to realize that there's many opportunities to move through these different states of consciousness always, and they're always available. So if you find yourself like connected into a 3D reality where you're sort of like getting anchored into a 3D reality where you're worried about something out there, and you feel like you're out of control, or you feel like you don't have a choice, that's where you shift into the fourth dimension, into your own center, your own essence, your own vibration, your consciousness and creation. And you start to realize that when you sit in that bliss, in that stillness, you see there's an opportunity to shift it, and shift it into a different view, a different perspective, a different reality. And this is how the six dimensional realities work and align together. And it's all consciousness, but you're creating it. You realize you're the creator. Anything out there that you feel like is a barrier, it's because you're creating it through a sense or a feeling or a thought about it. That's not reality, that's not true reality, that's what you're creating, and it's coming from you. And when you start to see things, so the problem is with the 3D reality, you look at it outside yourself and you think it's happening to you, when you don't know when it's happening, when what really is happening is happening through you, because you're creating it. So you shift your consciousness and understand that actually I can shift this reality, this moment, into something that I want to create, that I have a choice. And this is where your infinite self comes in, and this is what the soul wants us to do. It wants us to express the highest vision, and it wants us to express the energy and the highest consciousness to create a reality that is aligned with us. And we're all born to be in peace, we're all born to be in harmony, we're all born to be in union with source energy. That's what we're born for. We're supposed to express consciousness in a way that we're at peace with our reality, with our life. And this is part of sort of like shifting again, and shifting into the fifth, third, fourth, and fifth dimensional reality. We start to realize that we're conscious creators, and this is a sixth dimensional shift, and this is what we're all moving towards at the moment. So we're all like I said, we're all in aspects of the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. We have times where we open ourselves up, and we're still, and we're in bliss, and we're expanding, and and we're open as these living channels to receive this insight and wisdom, um, from the infinite dimensions and realities of guides, angels, source creator, source energy, source vibration, and the ascended masters. And we understand that once we're open to that, then we start to receive insight, and our soul starts to connect with that source energy, that creation, that creator within each and every one of us, and starts to understand that it can express any reality that it wants, or any vibration or frequency or consciousness, to bring union, and bring joy and bring happiness, within our reality. And this is what this time and age is about, and this is what we're always constantly doing. Within my reality, this is happening all the time. I look outside of myself, and there's things that I attach to in the 3D reality, and I start to feel that they're happening to me, but they're not happening to me. I'm creating them. That I'm creating that reality, that this is something happening to me. When I shift inside, I start to realize within the fourth dimension that I have sort of source energy. I have source consciousness that I can access to to create a new perspective, a new reality. And this is the shifting, and this is part of the keys of consciousness. As we start to shift in the streams of consciousness, and we start to move through the third, fourth, and fifth, and into the sixth dimension. You are a creator, and creation is you. This is the big shift. When we start to live that, we vibrate on a different frequency, and the external reality, then we know that we can mold and change that into a reality that is more in harmony with our energy and our infinite self. But it's also mold and change that reality that is more in harmony, so that we're not feeling stress, we're not feeling anxiety, we're not feeling worry, doubt, concern, where we can start to trust and feel that source energy as it starts to flow through us, and we start to create and become co-creators within our own reality. And we start to then align with the source energy as we become co-creators, and we start to create within our own reality. This is what this time's about, and this is the shift into the third, fourth, and fifth, and sixth dimension. Well, that's the insight for today. Have a great day. Please comment, like, share, subscribe, and like I said, have a great day.